Lewis from the pocket, launching downfield. Mitchell, touchdown, Texas.
You are looking live at the College Football Insiders Show.
To throw it. McCarthy looking, throws deep, got a wide open receiver. Cornelius Johnson sprinting, touchdown Michigan.
Now, here are your hosts, ready to break down this weekend's top matchups.
What's up, college football fans? Long time no see. Sorry for the delay. We are back, though. Full swing. Smitty, Q, we're going to try to make some money in this chaotic bowl season that we have. Q, what's up?
Couple weeks off. We still look ugly, but we still have pride. We're back, baby.
Brutally honest. Smitty, what's up?
I thought I kind of
good to see your
today,
smiling
but
face,
maybe I
man.
don't. So it's good to be back. Had a couple weeks off, but I'm glad to be back with you guys and trying to break down these crazy bowl games. So we'll do the best job we can.
So we're here talking college bowls, beers, and bets. Trying to work on a sponsorship here. Flyway Blue Wing out of North Little Rock, Arkansas. That is going in.
I want you drinking that Simpsons movie beer every show.
That was a Flyway beer, but rocking
That
the
looked
cup.
like it was graphically
official.
edited.
It's official. Yeah, it was a fake beer. It was a movie
Yeah.
prop. All right. So you want to recap anything on these bowl games that we've had thus far? Anything stand out to you? Give a round of applause to Syracuse. I saw where one guy rushed like 15 times for 0 yards. You have to really try to suck that bad.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well, can I say something? So what I said last night on Notebook Wagering, I said, I'm just going to take the dog up and teaser, and I'm going to take the points up and take the under. And I said, see what happens. So I had South Florida last night up plus points, which they won big. And then I did luck out on
won
that.
by a million.
Thank you, Syracuse, for not showing up, not doing much with the points. So I did it again tonight with Georgia Tech. So we'll see what happens with
Do you
this.
think their head coach, when he sees them get blanked, he goes, "Man, did I just screw up royally in my careir?"
I like the Ohio State McCord that they were saying. Do you think he was like, what's going on here? Should I?
Uh-oh.
This is
All right.
Hey, this is hard. I mean, this is hard. I mean, this is so hard. I mean, I thought the best one, and I gave out Old Dominion. I gave out a Notebook Wager a week ago. I loved it, and I did not get it right when it was like -2, and it got up a little higher. I was like, okay, let's do moneyline parlay with UTSA. Well, that just didn't go well because they're up 28-7, and then they lost. And then UTSA Harris was supposed to quarterback, and then right before kick, oh, now he's not playing. So this is
In the old tracksuit.
This is fun. This is fun.
Well,
Let's
I
go.
touched on it on Jeff Dawson's show just a minute ago, but we're working on these score projections still, and it's computing out the best bet, I guess, you could make in this one, and it likes the under 68. I have not bet the under. I do lean Georgia Tech. I think Q kind of talked me into it. With Haynes King, what they've done this season, I feel like they're getting too many points here against the Central Florida team that just hasn't really been consistent all season long. What do you say in this one, Smitty? You like Georgia Tech, right?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did, a teaser. I played in the game. I took Georgia Tech up, and I took the points up and took the under. So we'll see what happens. Because I agree. I think I like UCF. I think they have a great coach, but I like the quarterback, Georgia Tech. I think this game's a little closer. I think it's a lot, but I think it's a high scoring game. A little bit lower if you can tease it up. I think it might get in the high 50s, maybe low 60s, but I got it up to like 72. So I'm going to take a chance with that. Let's just hopefully it's a little slow. So Georgia Tech up and take the points up and take the under. That's my teaser.
Q?
Yeah, you already touched on it. Georgia Tech plus the 6.5 or 6, whatever the line is. I just think Haynes King is just as good, if not better, than Reese Plumlee. I think Reese Plumlee's still playing hurt. Central Florida moving to the Big 12 meant that they think they're bigger and better. So this game right here, I don't think they're meaning much for them. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, is trying to build that program back to the early 2000 heydays. This would go a long way into getting them that 7th win. The program's on the rise, have some momentum into next season, and say, hey, we're building something. We're winning games. We're in games. Now let's go get to 8, 9+ wins. And this is where it starts. It means more for Georgia Tech. Take Georgia Tech.
Yep.
I'd even take the points, sprinkle a little money on the money line.
Somebody told me to remove sprinkle the money line from my vocabulary because I'm not Kelly in Vegas.
Right.
2 corners out in this one and an edge rusher. So points will probably be pretty easy to come by. This may be something I play a first quarter over. I love those. Instant gratification. All right. Starting tomorrow's slate at 11 a.m. Central, 12 Eastern, you've got Arkansas State taking on Northern Illinois. Q, you doing anything in this one?
Pass.
Game. Projections like Northern Illinois +3. I really don't want any part of it. Smitty?
Well, what in my notes? I mean, I said it last night too on the show. I said everyone says like, "Oh, pass on these games," but we're degenerates and we like to take them. So I mean, it's hard not to. Both teams have portal and injury issues, and I like where everything I'm seeing. Northern Illinois might have a little bit more than Arkansas State with some issues with some portal and some injuries and everything like that. Some of my notes has Northern Illinois. So I don't know. If I win this Georgia Tech game tonight and the Todd Smith system keeps going, I'm just going to throw it out here. Let's do a teaser play here. Let's go Northern Illinois up and let's do the under.
If anybody bets more than $10 on this, please call 1-800-GAMBLING. It is
degenerate special bowl game teasers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, you might want to. Maybe your wife's. You're at a coworker's holiday party that sucks. You find their TV. Hey, I'm going to the restroom. You just stumble upon the living room where the TV is. Dabble a couple dollars on it.
Thank you,
honey. I got sidetracked.
Hey, I'm trying to get you to go to Macy's, not the Dollar Tree, with some of these games. Let's go.
A de facto home game for the Troy Trojans. Is that right? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Take on the depleted Duke Blue Devils. Mike Elko gone. Riley Leonard gone. Does Duke have anything left in the tank? The projections think it does. They've got this a coin flip game. +7.5. I don't really want to take the Blue Devils here. Q, can you talk me into a bet?
Yeah, I think if you can get Troy under a touchdown, you take him, and I'll tell you why. If Elko and his staff was still there, barring the injuries, barring the transfers, then I would like Duke a lot more. You've got his staff leaving. You've got him gone on top of Riley Leonard and a couple other guys not suiting up for them. Manny Diaz doesn't even know the name of his players. And he's going to go in there and supposedly try to coach this thing or shadow it, however you want to dictate that. There can't be 30 plays in that playbook. I mean, they're going to be extremely base. Troy, they're 10-2? They're going for that 11th win. The small schools, to them, this is a big deal for them. The Duke is turning the page, a new system, new coach. Let's see what next year brings. I can't see Duke really showing up for this game like I do Troy. Now, Duke will probably win the game outright, and I'll look like a big idiot. But I like what Troy has in this game. I don't like what Duke has, especially with the coaching staff being depleted. Pass for me, but I would take Troy if you were laying money on it.
Before I get to you, Smitty, I will interject and say one thing. Does it not worry you a little bit, though, that the quality of player is still better on an ACC Duke team than Troy?
I don't know, because you're not talking – I mean, we're talking about the ACC. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I mean, it's ACC. Like, let's not forget where they play and what Duke is. Duke's a basketball school. They're not recruiting the best kids in the state of North Carolina, the state of Virginia, by any means. I do think there's a pretty big drop-off from your starters to your backups here at Duke University. And that's just an assumption. I don't want to sit there and say it's accurate, but that's how I perceive it. If this was a team in the SEC or the Big Ten, I would probably side with your theory a little more. But, I mean, I just can't see it for a school that's really not known for a solid football team, but once, every few years.
Smitty, what are you doing in this one?
Yeah, both coaches gone. It's a tough one. You just look. Duke has so many guys, man, out. Quarterback, defensive guys, running back. I think this is a good spot. I think Troy wins this game. It's a great teaser spot too. I mean, I think teasers are great in these bowl games. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep saying it. I love the teasers in these games.
Smitty would tease spring games if he could.
Oh, I would. I would tease Russian ping pong if I could, Q.
That's what you've got to treat these bowl games as. This is like preseason NFL football right here.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think overall, I think Troy is going to win this game. It's just these games are so tough. I think that's why a teaser, and I love the teasers. I know everybody else hates the teasers in college football, but I think it's a good one. I think you get Troy down 6 points in this. I think they win the game. I just can't see how Duke has enough talent on this team. And I think this is a lower scoring game too.
Score projections have it a coin flip game. They are 6-3 in best bet projections through bowl season. Lean on that where you can. It is a small sample size though, so tread lightly. Don't blow your bankroll. Save it for college baseball. That's kind of our thing. James Madison Dukes make a bowl game. America's sweetheart team here. Second in defensive success rate. Taking on an Air Force team who is very disciplined. JMU without Kurt Signetti and a plethora of players. Are you doing anything in this one? The projection likes James Madison a little bit. Air Force decent, but JMU 8-4 against the spread on the year, so they've exceeded expectations from the book. Is it too light, or are you betting this one?
Smitty, you can start.
Okay, I'll go here. Hey, I just want to say Air Force. I love these service teams. A lot of respect. But, man, I had the 8.5 win total over, and you got 8-0, and you couldn't get it. Oh, man, what a beat that was. Here's the thing with this game. You have some issues. James Madison coach left. Service teams are really good in these bowl games. James Madison can stop the run. I kind of like the under in this. I think it's a lower scoring game. I'd probably do the under in this game. Now I tease up Air Force and do the points too at a teaser, but I'm going to just go straight. Let's go under.
Whoa.
This man must be stopped. He's giving out 4 teasers.
I'm going to give teasers on every game.
Breaking news. He just played a straight play.
I'm giving teasers out on every play. I'm trying to get so much information out to the people here, but no, I do it under in this. I think this is. I just don't know what Air Force has. They had some injuries at the end of the year. So I think it's a tough spot. So I think this and JMU too, their offense at times can be a little slow overall. So I like the under in this game.
Q, what are you doing?
Yeah, I like the under as well. We talked about the head coach at JMU. McLeod's gone. I double checked this, but I believe Surratt is also not going to play. He's in the portal. You lost your starting tight end. Everything kind of ran through Jordan McLeod. He was just a playmaker for them. Lower scoring game. I think Air Force, this game matters to them more so than JMU. Armed Forces Bowl, Air Force, these kids want to get one final win, especially the seniors, before they go off and serve for their country. So I think it means a lot for Air Force. I think to keep it close, low scoring.
All right, it's a party. We're all on the under. Georgia State takes on Utah State. Both these teams 6-6 against the spread. Utah State a slight favorite in this one. Georgia State missing several players, including running back and star wide receiver. Smitty, let's go back to you. Don't tell me you're teasing.
No, that's no teaser. That's no teaser.
Okay. What are we doing here? Give the people
straight
a bet.
play. I like Utah State in this just because, like you said, there's some guys out for Georgia State. Very cool team coming in to this game where Utah State was starting to get a little hot and they were winning some games here. Like you said, wide receivers out, running backs out, transfer portals hitting them. This game is in Boise State. Utah State kind of knows that area pretty well. It's outside. It could be cold. I did not look at the conditions of temperature or precipitation in this, but I think it's a good spot. I think Utah State wins this game easily. I like them a lot.
Quentin?
Go teams. That's all I got. Pass.
Score points. Over?
Nothing.
Maybe. Nothing. South Alabama, USA versus Eastern Michigan, 6-5-1 against the spread. South Alabama dominates in all of the categories and is missing their wide receiver. But Eastern Michigan is also going to be without a couple of guys, quarterback, offensive tackle, linebacker. This is a big spread. It's ugly, but the projections like Eastern Michigan plus 17. Are you doing anything in this one, Smitty?
Yeah, I kind of like Eastern Michigan. Like you said, their quarterback's out. They got the backup is a running quarterback. It's a big spread. Coach, if you look at his numbers in the bowl games, are pretty good. He does cover ATS, I think, overall. Bama can stop the run. I think this could be a little lower scoring kind of game here, but that's a lot. That's a high spread in a bowl game with you have some question marks. I think South Alabama by far is the better team, but I think if you want some action on, like Q said a little bit ago, if you're bored at a Christmas party and you just want some action, I take Eastern Michigan plus the points.
The people want the action. Utah Northwestern. Hats off to Northwestern. You know, they go through the coaching scandal at the beginning of the season. I think their season win total was like 2.5, 3. Here they are in a bowl game playing against a Utah team who I don't think has a quarterback on the roster anymore. Cam Rising out, Bryson Barnes transfer, Nate Johnson transfer. Hell of a defense for the Utes, but Northwestern, I feel like, could keep this scrappy. I'm taking Northwestern plus 6.5. Smitty, are you doing anything in this one?
No, I go Northwestern too. I think it's a lower scoring game, and I mean, again, great teaser spot in game, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut here. But now I like it because, like you said, who's quarterbacking? I heard on one show this week, they said the kid that's transferring said he'll quarterback. And I said on Notebook Wagering last night, that's like taking a girl to the prom. And she said, I'll be with you for the prom, but tomorrow I'm gone. Well, that better be a great night. That's what I'm talking about. Take Northwestern in this game.
That's what I'm talking about. Q, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on Northwestern. I think this is a major opportunity for them to reach a win, something they haven't done in a long time against a gutted Utah team. Utah has nothing to play for. You know, obviously they're looking forward to next season when Cam Rising comes back. Northwestern is looking to get another signature win. Again, this is on paper. You could say, hey, we beat Utah, who's generally a stacked team. That's a big win for us, program builder, especially with all the adversity. So I think Utah or Northwestern plus the points, but go ahead and throw a little on the money line for Northwestern as well. I think the Cats can get it done.
We got to play. All right, the one game of Saturday's slate that I do look forward to, Coastal Carolina, San Jose State. This should be a fun one. I like the over. I think it's down to 49 now. I'm not real sure why it's dropping. The projections like Coastal Carolina to lose by, what would that be, 3, 27-30. So go over, and I love Coastal Carolina in this spot. I think they just got pissed off with the whole dance team posing with the shirtless head coach. No Grayson McCall, but he hadn't played the last few games. You're going to get Ethan Vasco, who stat line 55 of 87. That's good for 63% completion percentage, 579 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception in his last 3 appearances for the Chanticleers. So give me Coastal Carolina. I know a lot of people are on San Jose, love them in this spot. I actually did bet them minus 9.5 early on. I bought out of that bet, and I'm back in the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Q, you did anything in this one?
A lot of people don't realize several years ago, Coastal Carolina's cheerleading squad was busted for running. The seniors were running an escort service with the freshmen, so I'm sure that's why they're a little irritated at the photo. But I think they've made strides. They're keeping the clothes on this time, and it was just a simple calendar pose. So I feel for Coastal Carolina. I want to side with them. I just don't have it in my heart, but I'll take the over with you.
They're a business school. It's a business.
Entrepreneurs. That's it.
They know. So I'm going to go. I like I like the overplay in this too. I like where our predictions are going here. But I kind of like San Jose State. I think this team's a hot team coming into this. The that's quarterbacking is from Hawaii. I think this is a game that he wants to play well on this. I just think there's so many guys out for Coastal. I think I would do San Jose State. I think they win by double digits in this, but I do like the over also in this game.
I don't like that. All right, so we're not going to be back until next Friday. We've got several bowl games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, leading up into our show Friday. So is there any other game that kind of stands out to you guys? I'm going to start with my favorite one. It's UNLV plus 13 over Kansas. I also lean on the over. Barry Odom, he saw Kansas last year as a defensive coordinator for Arkansas in that bowl game that ended 55-53. I think he knows what this offense is capable of and will be ready for it. And UNLV, the Rebs have had a hell of a season. I think the best way they can cap off this is beating Kansas. And I just feel like they've got a little bit more to play for. And, Kansas had a pretty good season, but probably not with expectations of what they could have been. So give me the Rebs on Tuesday night plus 13 versus the Jayhawks. Q, I'll let you run through the board while I come up with a couple other plays.
Yeah, I like we touched on Jeff's show. I like Louisville to handle USC. USC doesn't have anything to play for. Obviously, Caleb Williams is out. Malachi Nelson's out. So who's going to be playing quarterback for them? New defensive coordinators coming in. Probably a very basic scheme. They couldn't, even in their advanced scheme, they couldn't stop us. So I'm not too concerned with that. Starting safeties transferred out, a couple cornerbacks. So they're in kind of rough shape. I think Louisville is trying to continue to build success. Jeff Brom's with the team again. He's a local legend there. They had a really good season this year. I think they want to end it on a high note. They had a good early signing day the other day, get some good recruiting, start the season off or to end the season right with a big win over, like I said, on paper, you beat a USC Trojan team, which can kind of go a long way into keeping momentum heading into 2024 season. So I really like that. You did talk me into the UNLV play. And I really want to pull the trigger on Georgia minus 13.5. Florida State, both teams obviously are pissed off of the way things went, but I read an article, Norvell still can't get over it. At some point, you've got to coach a game, and it sounds like they're not capable of doing it. How checked out are they? Trey Benson's not going to play. Obviously, Travis, you are going to have Rodemaker back. Couple guys on the defensive side of the football hit the portal, which I didn't understand. They were all starters. Obviously, it's money related, but I hope Georgia thumps them to prove why Florida State has no business competing for a playoff spot.
Smitty.
Yeah, I haven't really dove that far ahead like you guys have, but I just try to bring up the board here. I kind of like Virginia Tech. I think Tulane's going to be down to, I don't even know who's going to be quarterback in that team. And that one opened up and it at 4.5, it's jumped up to 9.5. I think they can win. I think Virginia Tech could do good things there. I do like Louisville. You guys said that game too. I like that. I keep an eye on Oklahoma State as a dog. Do a little, like Hugh said, sprinkle on the money line there against Texas A&M. Texas A&M has some people out. And I also like Arizona against Oklahoma.
I love Arizona. That was one I was about to touch on. Arizona had a hell of a season with Jed Fish. I think they cap it off with Dylan Gabriel's out for Oklahoma transferring. I think Arizona's just they're going to bring it and be able to score points at will.
Touching on
Go
that
ahead.
Okie State game, is Ollie Gordon playing? I know he's hit the portal, but is he going to suit up or not?
Probably not. And then one thing too on UNLV, they are going to be without Jaden. I'm going to butcher his last name. Maeva. They are going to be without him. So pump the brakes on the UNLV plus 13. I had to do some research on that backup. All of my picks are posted at NCAAinsiders.com. Ollie Gordon is out.
Okay.
He's going to transfer.
That hurts.
As
I mean,
well as
that
Gunnar
makes
Gundy.
See where the
Yeah,
line
that hurts.
goes. If it doesn't
Yeah.
go crazy, then maybe they know something we don't. Because that's
I'll tell you what, they didn't run well at against Texas, and Texas really showed that they couldn't throw the ball too well.
But if that's still been out and that hasn't changed much, I wouldn't get too scared on that.
But Texas A&M, not very good.
And
Hey,
they've lost a lot of people.
I
Yeah.
do want to talk about one that's Friday night, and we'll touch on it on our next show. But is Ohio State getting kind of slept on versus Missouri? I really liked Missouri when this line opened. It opened 6.5, I think, but I missed that number. I got it at 2.5. But I think Ohio State, I mean, they're still going to have a lot of talented players on that roster that are going to play. Missouri, they give up points. Do you think Ohio State in a buy low spot? I mean, Ryan Day, I get it. He's probably not excited to not be in the college football playoff. But at the end of the day, you're playing a decent SEC opponent who likes to talk a lot of shit. Eli Drinkwitz, he's not shy of his sideline demeanor. And I feel like if he wants to prove something, Ryan Day could come out and just blow out Missouri if they wanted to, just based on the talent on that roster.
I mean, who's playing for Ohio State? I believe Harrison Jr.'s out. Obviously, McCord's out. Milan Williams is out. Yeah, I understand their caliber of backups is really good, but Missouri has everybody playing from what I've seen.
I guess
they're trying to win.
I guess
I think this is a statement by Drink.
Right.
I think Drink, he's going to be like, hey, we just went in and beat Ohio State. We're better than people think. This is why you should play at Missouri. We're going to be a national title contender next season. I feel like that momentum, like those guys are really going to want to play because, I mean, we've done it. We're guilty of it. We kind of disrespected at times Missouri earlier on in the season, and they were legit this year. And I'll be the one. I call him Eli Drinknuts all the time. I hate the guy. He runs his mouth, but give credit where credit's due. He's building something there. He made the necessary changes on the coaching side. He's a CEO now, and it's paid dividends. I think Missouri looks at this game as we need to beat a big-time program team, and that is Ohio State. Ryan Day just lost a starting quarterback because, in my opinion, the fan base ran him out of town because they couldn't beat Ohio or Michigan without a coach. Harrison Jr. is not playing. Milan Williams isn't playing. Like, do those guys care?
Travion Henderson probably going to play.
That's true. I mean, they have talent. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, the other receiver, Emeka Egbuka. Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to play.
Yeah,
and then you look at talent level. Like Ohio State's backup quarterback is probably a 5-star guy. It's kind of like Georgia. They're just interchangeable at this point. They're just game managers throwing to amazing.
How much has he played, though, is my concern.
Yeah, I get it. But Missouri, I mean, you look what Jaden Daniels did. Offense put up 1,000 points against that Missouri Tigers offense or defense. I don't know if Brady Cook's going to be able to put up points against a pretty salty Ohio State defense. I don't know. It's just something to monitor. Like I said, we'll talk about it next Friday.
I jumped in this. And you're going to laugh again. I did a teaser right away when the bowl games came out. I did Louisville down to -1.5 against USC, and I got Missouri up to 7.5, and I matched them up.
I'll say this. You'll know by the end of the first quarter if you won your bet or not with this game.
And that's a lot. Great point. I think that's a lot with these bowl games. I think you know right away. Like,
yeah.
I think you know.
I think you know with the better teams.
Be there and who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Live betting for sure. And I know that's a cop out.
I think you saw it last night with Syracuse.
Yeah. You look at motivation. I mean, outside of the Old Dominion Western Kentucky game, all of these games I feel like have gone exactly how they've gone in the first quarter.
Yeah,
Like you're not getting a mass change in, I have urgency to play hard now.
Yeah.
If
yeah,
anything,
for sure.
it's let's play the first half and see how it goes, and then we'll reconvene at halftime and see how serious we're going to take the next 30
I
minutes.
think what you said there, live betting, was a great comment too. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
Thanks, Smitty.
I know
you'll see more of who wants to
talented,
be
Matt.
there with these better teams. Like, I'm curious to see what Oregon team shows up. Obviously Georgia, Florida State, the teams that were in that top 10 conversation. What? Who else? I mean, yeah, Missouri. I mean, they're one of them too. Like, do they carry the momentum, or do they kind of, like we just talked about, do they falter? Does Ohio State? Where does how does Notre Dame bounce back? Things like that. These really good teams. I want to see how they prepare, what their coaches do in this.
And Q, I'm going to jump
spot.
in. I think I'm going to jump in real quick because I think what you said there too. I think monitor it every day because I think Coleman just opted out of the game for Florida State. I mean, they have a lot of things.
Trey Benson's out.
And that's the thing. Like, sometimes I've listened to some people and I think it's smart. They said, just wait until
you have to
off, because you don't know what's going to happen. You jump on these too quick. And then this guy, like that Frank, I'm going to go back to Harris. I mean,
20 minutes before kickoff.
Yeah, that's some beef I have with NCAA, that they're not more strict. And I get it. It's a bowl game. It's extra. It's NFL preseason. But come on. Name it. He's either playing or he's not. You got to.
Yeah.
But in the end, it didn't matter.
No.
I think Lincoln Park said that.
That was a good little tie-in.
All right. So let's close out the show. Final four. You've got Alabama, Michigan, Texas, Washington. Who comes out of that to play in the national championship?
Oh, I thought we were talking about that next show.
Well, we can. It's kind of the focal point of bowl season.
Yeah. I mean, we can break it. We can break it. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll break it down further next Friday.
Oh, for sure.
I would but without breaking it down on today's show to end it, I think Bama, I mean, I'm rooting for Michigan, but I think just the way Bama's played towards the end of the season, the way they were able to get better and grow, I think Milrose improved. I think Alabama gets to the title game, and I think Washington can expose Texas's secondary. I really do. I think Washington wins in a shootout.
These are going to be very exciting games.
Oh, yeah.
I get that they're, it's heightened anyways because there's a lot on the line, but just really good football games. I'm very excited to see how Nick Saban attacks Michigan's defense. Very excited to see how Michael Penix does against Texas. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's Alabama, Texas in a rematch, but I'm kind of rooting for Michigan, Washington, just because I think the duel of a really high-powered offense versus a really good defense would be just a great national championship game. Smitty, I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, I've said it. I'm a Michigan fan. I hope they win.
I hope they win.
I do too. Now I do have I've said it on some shows. I've done a little pizza money ticket in October on Bama to win the national championship for over $300. So, I mean, that'd be nice. It's one of those I've said, I'm not going to lose sleep. I'll be, if my team's in the final game, I'm going to be excited to watch that. If Bama is, then I have a ticket that can cash a little bit of money for myself. So that'd be nice. And I kind of agree. I kind of like Washington. I like Penix. I'm a big, I think somebody that gets him in the pros is going to be very happy. The guy sometimes isn't mobile enough, in my opinion, but the guy can throw darts. I think he's good. I think Hugh said it well. I think he might be able to pick apart Texas secondary a little bit. I like the Washington team. So right now, I'm going to say Michigan, and I'm going to say Washington. But I'll dive into it a little bit more for next week.
I think whoever comes out of the Alabama-Michigan game is your national champ, though. And
I would agree with that.
I say that with somebody. I've got 20-1 ticket on Washington to win the national championship, and I've got 6-1 ticket on Alabama. I hedged out of my Oregon bet by taking Jeff Dawson's advice and bet Washington to win the national championship rather than bet Washington to beat Oregon in the Pac-12 championship rematch. So I feel like I'm sitting in a pretty good spot there with Bama, Washington. I did add Michigan plus 185 because I'm pretty confident that whoever comes out of that game wins it all. But with that being said, if y'all don't have anything else, we will see you next Friday. Cheers to this ugly slate of bowl games tonight and tomorrow.